How long will you play Captain Marvel for?
I don't know. Does anyone want me to do it again?
Don't be so modest.
I don't know. I really don't know. I don't have the answer to that.
What can you share with us about Marvels?
It is a feature film that has characters in it, and some people have suits on, like superhero suits, and some people wear civilian clothes, and there is like a problem, and then we have to figure out how to solve it.
Oh, amazing. I'm hooked.
I'm so sorry that I hope I didn't spoil too much, but like that. Doing something in secret. I don't know. I had to say it for so long. It's nice to have these reminders that these are really important stories that mean something to people and can change the course of someone's life.
Prove you're not a Skrull.
It's hard. They're marathons because, I mean, just doing an acting job is long hours. People like kind of don't understand that like a 12-hour day is like the shortest possible day that we'll have. Like we work longer than that. So yeah, it's long days and can be emotionally a lot. And then on top of it, you're adding this physical aspect where you're up in wires, 50 feet up in the air, or, doing fight sequences. And so it takes a lot. But it's really redemptive too, because you push yourself to a limit, and it forces you to go to places that you might not, outside of your comfort zone.
Brie Larson is becoming more likable based on the most recent interview she's done, where she's like, I don't know. Am I going to play her again? Do you want me to? I don't know. She's trolling the trolls, but these woke people, these woke YouTubers don't understand it. Now, what I find funny is every time Brie Larson says something, these woke YouTubers come out and find some kind of reason to moan and be like, yo, if you don't like Brie Larson, you're just sexist and stuff like this. It's like, whoa, you're taking this movie world thing a bit too serious. So you go, what is freaking good YouTube Warstu here? If you're on new around, make sure subscribe to never miss any of the Marvel DC pop culture based content that we do on a daily basis. If you could subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on, and let me know down below. Do you like our beloved Queen of Marvel, aka Brie Larson, aka Captain Marvel, aka you're probably going to get triggered and say, no, Wanda is the Queen. Who is the Queen of Marvel? We don't know. Let me know. And also, if you could, check us out on Instagram at Warstu to see the beautiful face behind the beautiful voice. And check us out on the Twitter sphere, WarstuG, although no one really cares about it. So, we had D23 where they came out and there was a Marvels trailer, which coincides with a plot leak. But let's be honest, Brie Larson literally just confirmed said plot leak. But that clip that we played at the start of the video, where she's like, I don't know, should I play again? That has caused headlines, TikTokers, YouTubers to be like, Brie Larson is done. She's out. She's just confirmed it. No, she didn't confirm it. Now, I get where you're coming from. People are like, oh, she's having a meltdown. No, she looked like she was having fun. She looks like she's got more of a personality. Maybe it's our PR team, but she's got a lot more personality in these most recent interviews, and people are like, she's having a breakdown. I get it. I get where all this is coming from. Because before Avengers, Infinity War, Endgame, she was going to be the face of Marvel going forward. And then they kind of backtracked, but they didn't. I just think they don't specifically know what to do with her character, but her movie does look cool. We got a brief cameo role at the end of Miss Marvel where Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel herself, appeared, and that is where the Marvels is actually going to start. But I do find it horrendous and ridiculous that so many woke, I call them woke YouTubers, but they think they're defending the wokeness or they're not being woke. But I actually think they're woke YouTubers. So many woke YouTubers come out headline, Brie Larson is done. Brie Larson has meltdown. Brie Larson can't handle it. She's actually showing more charisma about herself when she's trolling the trolls. It's like, Brie Larson has meltdown, claims nobody wants her as Captain Marvel. To be fair, you can't really blame her. I mean, I get it. Captain Marvel 1 wasn't very good, but she's an Academy Award-winning actor. But that means nothing. They're political. It actually does mean it's something. Whether you actually believe it or not, it really does mean something. It's like, Brie Larson, lose it. No, she's literally trolling. So let's get above the trolling. So interesting information about said movie is the actual movie. So there's a short plot leak that essentially says, 1/3 of the movie, the trio to visit a planet where everyone sings instead of talking to each other. Carol is married to the leader of the planet, which is where they're at. The Marvels get their new suits. And that's courtesy of Daniel RPK, who is a trusted insider, but there is a literal full-on plot leak, which is pretty darn in-depth. So we're going to go over that. So let's break it. Ashton's character is named Darben. I didn't see any sexual tension, which, believe me, I was looking for it. Comments are made about how Carol is obsessed with Darben, but it's made clear that is because Carol doesn't trust her at all. And it's also made very clear that Carol isn't wrong for mistrusting her. She's quite obviously the villain, and we already know that. Ironically, she is the partner of Tom Hiddleston, who plays Loki, which is pretty cool. Darben is the regular leader of the Kree. No side factions or anything to that merit. In the flashback, she witnesses Carol attacking the Supreme Intelligence. And that's her villain origin story in a nutshell. The Kree refer to Carol as the Annihilator, or something very similar, and she does not like that name. Darben has one bangle, Kamala has the other. No idea how she has it. She's using it to power a weapon, but she needs both bangles. There's a funny line where Darben demands to know how Kamala got an ancient and powerful artifact. Kamala responds, "My grandmother sent it to me in the mail." It wasn't explained in the rough cut that I saw, but almost immediately, Monica, Carol, and Kamala begin switching places. Every time they use their powers, Monica is working on the space station sword, her peak headquarters with Nick Fury. Kamala is at home. Carol is trying to sneak into the Kree Skrull Peace Summit because she doesn't trust Darben, who is the leader of the Kree. Now, it's already been stated that they will switch places an awful lot, and it's a plot leak. We never know if it's real, but it seems to be somewhat legit. So Carol starts fighting Kree soldiers and then begins switching with Kamala and Monica, and the Kree soldiers start switching with her. So at one point, Carol is on the peak with Fury, and Kamala is at the Peace Summit, and Monica is fighting Kree soldiers in Khan's living room, whilst Khan's family tries to hit them with brooms, fights them, runs around screaming. Very funny sequence at the end. Everyone, including Fury, ends up in Khan's living room, except Kamala. The ending scene in the Miss Marvel show is direct shot from the Marvels, and we already know this. Carol leaves the house and tries to fly off, but they switch again, and suddenly Kamala is falling out of the sky, and Fury tells Monica she has to fly and save her. Monica resists because she doesn't know how to control her flight powers yet, but Fury yells, "Come on, Black Magic." Monica flies up to save Kamala. However, she loses control on the way down. Everyone is screaming, and at the last second, Monica, Carol switch positions, and Carol is able to stop before they hit the ground. Fury screams as they are dropping, and at last, it is just Carol. Anyway, Carol, Monica, Kamala go off to investigate Darben, and sticking together because they can't control switching every time they use their powers. It's not really explained except for some allusion as to how their powers are similar in variations to each other. The discovery that Darben is using a new weapon to create instability portals that steal the resources, water, air, sun, whole planets, and she sends the resources to the destroyer, Hala, to rebuild. She so far destroyed one planet at the beginning of the film for its atmosphere. She destroys the second at the Kree Skrull peace talks. Then she goes after Alada to steal their water. Carol has already been to Alada and is reluctant to go back because she is the princess, married to Prince Yan, an ancient diplomat. Mistakes. Everyone on Alada sings as a way of communicating. Brie sings. She has a lovely, succulent voice. But it's an awful sequence. And yeah, this backs up what Daniel RPK said a long while ago. They realize the planet is Darben. Next target and go there to get help fighting her, to protect the planet and stop her rampage. The girl bonds. Well, this is in a montage on Carol's ship on the way to Alana. Monica helps Carol get used to working with Kamala. Carol yelled at Kamala in an early scene because Kamala froze up in a pivotal moment. Monica reminds Carol that Kamala isn't a soldier. Monica and Carol also have a conversation about how Carol and I have never come back. All three kind of work through their issues. It's later revealed that Carol did indeed come back to visit Maria more than just once. Prince Yan doesn't have a crush on Carol. He and Carol are married, but Carol and Prince Yan seem to have a very platonic friendship and mutual respect. Nonetheless, Carol is very embarrassed and is reluctant to visit Anna. Is played like she didn't understand the customs and acts accidentally got a diplomatic marriage to the prince at some point in the past. The citizens of the planet worship her as their princess. Prince Yan himself is cool though, and isn't played as a goofy drope. But it is a whole awkward, awful sequence that goes on entirely too long. Monica is weirded out by the whole situation. Kamala excited. Monica asks if Kamala is going to put this in her Captain Marvel fanfiction, and Kamala says yes. Anyway, Carol realizes that she's going after every planet Carol has ever called home in an act of revenge. Earth is the last part of the plan. Meanwhile, Nick Fury takes the Khan's family up to space station to keep them protected, so he can monitor the situation from there. A side plot of the space station. Fury, some tech, finds some weird eggs inside all the space station machinery. They're all really worried about some sort of alien attack. The eggs hatch, and it is revealed that there are newborn furkling kittens. Yay, how Nick Fury got the scar on his face, the big mystery. Chaos ensures on the space station. Later, the space station is damaged by Duban when she attacks. In the climax, there's not enough escape pods to get everyone off the station before it crashes. Fury comes up with an idea of feeding everyone on the station to the furkling kittens. Then putting all the kittens on the escape pods and get into Earth safely that way. It's amusing stroke bizarre. The whole film has a really weird tone clash between a standard Marvel movie and something goofier like The Guardians. Monica and Carol go to Hala, and it is raining for the first time on Hala, and the surviving Kree are celebrating because Ben brought the atmosphere and the water back to them. Carol realizes that the Annihilator is accurately from their perspective. She destroyed this planet, and the survivors are struggling as she's got a great villain in their eyes. She has a moral reckoning. Stopping in Ben means destroying Hala all over again. Monica gives a little bit of a pep talk. Basically amounts to, we can't save everyone. We have to let Hala be destroyed. Carol reaffirms her desire to stop Ben. In addition, Ben destroying the planets, her creations of the portals, makes the universe unstable, increasing the likelihood of an incursion, a multiverse of madness connection, which is another reason they have to stop her. An incursion happens in the climax. Carol fights Ben, whilst Monica and Kamala try to fix the incursion. Monica ends up flying through this tear in the universe and fixes it on the other side and ends up stuck in another universe. Now, we actually have gone over a plot leak before on this channel. It wasn't very in-depth. It sounded pretty stupid and goofy, and it lines up with this plot leak. But this plot leak doesn't sound as bad. The singing, communicating, I mean, that's a bit strange, but it could work. Really could work. We'll have to find out and see. So my overall views of this plot leak is, it seems pretty decent to me. It really does. I actually really like Captain Marvel as Brie Larson. I think Brie Larson's pretty cool. I know a lot of people, these woke YouTubers, go on about how she's awful and how she's going to be fired and stuff, but I think a lot of that should be put on Kevin Feige, because Kevin Feige bigged her up to be the strongest Avenger, the savior, the face, and then they backtrack to really the hatred or the discommonality. Why people don't, I don't really, in fact, let me know, why don't you like Brie Larson? I get it, it's the political views and stuff like that, but people put her on Ezra Miller level. She's not on Ezra Miller level. Ezra Miller attacking people, alleged groomer, that kind of stuff. Why does Brie get so much hate? So the footage at D23 was shown exclusively to the people there, but obviously information has got out, and it pretty much backs up the plot leak is real. So the trailer opens up with a space station named Saber. As Monica Rambeau flies towards the portal, Nick Fury calls to her, "What the hell are you doing?" The portal shoots back towards the station, and she lands on the moon. The Saber staff ask where Captain Rambeau is. The following scene, Kamala Khan is aggressively teleported out of her room in a swirl of purple energy. Her place comes. Carol Danvers, Monica, explains to Kamala that their powers are all intertwined, and they're swapping places with each other wherever Captain Marvel was before Kamala is now, aka backs up the plot which just gone over, and we've seen this in the Miss Marvel ending stroke post-credit scene. The scene returns to the cosmic. Kamala freaks out at the sight of Captain Marvel's pet, cat, Furkling, Goose. All three superheroines travel through space, and Miss Marvel fights in a space station. Next comes a glimpse of the new female villain, possibly Hala, holding a hammer similar to that of the late Ronin the Accuser. Kamala says the three of them are a team, but Carol disagrees. Still, there's plenty of funny banter between the three of them. When they throw down the rock, paper, scissors, Kamala, Monica swap places. Kamala asks Now, why would you say go if you wanted us all three to go? Kamala and Monica swap places again when Kamala lands in the station and takes Monica's place. She geeks out about meeting Nick Fury when Fury agents show up at Kamala's house. Her family, on the other hand, are bewildered by their presence. Kamala, disappearance. That's pretty much all of it from the trailer. And it pretty much confirms said plot leak we went over. Yeah, I get it. I should have went over the plot leak first before I went over this, but it literally does go over. It literally confirms the plot leak is real. I personally think this movie is going to be pretty cool. The singing bit threw me off at first, but with the context of everything else that happens in the movie, it does seem pretty cool. Let me know down below, guys. What do you think about the D23 trailer? What do you think about the plot leak? Is it real? Well, it's got to be real, lads and ladettes, because it lines up with the D23 trailer. So like always, guys, check us out on Instagram at Warstu to see a beautiful face behind the beautiful voice. Check us out on Twitter, Warstu G, and I will catch you in another video, guys, very soon. Catch ya later.